by Don Savage, second by the young man in the car for the field hand, Rodney. Is there any discussion or any question? If not, clerk, we call the roll.
Donna Savage.
Yes.
Jeff Long.
Yes.
Bobby Melton.
Yes.
Darwin Clark.
Yes.
Patrick McCurdy.
Yes.
Lee Richards.
Yes.
Randall Boswell.
Yes.
Gil McCowen.
Yes.
Jesse Bowman.
Yes.
Roger Carr.
Yes.
Geraldine Walker.
Yes.
Philip Talley.
Yes.
Greg Nivens.
Yes.
Shane Walker. C.D. Robbins.
Yes.
All four motion carried. Number 8, consider approval for resolution 2023-0410-01 to authorize Overton County to join the state of Tennessee and other local governments in amending the Tennessee State subdivision opiate abatement agreement and approving the related settlement agreement. Stephen, you have anything further? on that?
It's just one of these that we have to pass to get through to be able to receive the monies.
Everybody remembers that opioid grant we talked about?
It's about the opioid.
Geraldine Walker, got a second by Randall Baldwin. Clerk, we call the roll, please.
C.D. Robbins.
Yes.
Shane Walker.
Yes.
Greg Nivens.
Yes.
Philip Talley.
Yes.
Geraldine Walker.
Yes.
Roger Carr.
Yes.
Jesse Bowman.
Yes.
Gil McCowen.
Yes.
Randall Boswell.
Yes.
Lee Richards.
Yes.
Patrick McCurdy.
Yes.
Darwin Clark.
Yes.
Bobby Melton.
Yes.
Jeff Long.
Yes.
Tom Savage.
Yes.
All four, motion carries. That's gonna be a good, once that if finally gets settled, that's gonna have a lot of good counties.
Yeah.
Different counties, especially. Number 9, consider approval for Overton County Recovery Court to apply for a BJA grant with a 25% match, no cost to the county, approved by the Budget Committee. Need a motion, got a motion by Robbie Melton, got a second by Donna Savage. Is there any discussion, any questions? It's the same thing they apply for every year, but to keep that covered. If not, I'll entertain a clerk call the roll, please.
Donna Savage.
Yes.
Jeff Long.
Yes.
Bobby Melton.
Yes.
Darwin Clark.
Yes.
Patrick McCurdy.
Yes.
Lee Richards.
Yes.
Randall Boswell.
Yes.
Gil McCowen.
Yes.
Jesse Bowman.
Yes.
Roger Carr.
Yes.
Geraldine Walker.
Yes.
Philip Talley.
Yes.
Greg Nivens.
Yes.
Shane Walker.
Yes.
C.D. Robbins.
Yes.
All four motion carried. Number 10, consider approval for Overton County Sheriff's Department, retirement of the, narcotics dog and give it to his handler, which will be Terry Frazier. It's been approved by the Budget Committee. I think Lily Ann's drew up some type of agreement with the county.
I will.
Will, okay. And of course, John will tell you, he feels like this is the best place for that dog.
We do. Unfortunately, the dog's got some age on him. His age is not the problem, but he did have a bout with some heartworms. And through the treatment of the heartworms, the dog was not, we were not supposed to having him doing any type of physical activity, training, anything like that. So his certification lapsed. Now, with the dog being 11 years old, I'm pretty sure he's 11, maybe getting close to 12, and then what it would cost us to get him recertified in that time period. So we're going to be well into the dog's 12th year before we get him recertified, and that's going to be another $4,000 to $6,000 to get him recertified. We're just not going to get that service for the next few years. We're not going to get the bang for our buck there with what service time he would have left. He's got a real strong bond with his handler, so I think the best thing to do now would be just to retire him to his handler, who will assume all responsibility of medical, food, any and all responsibility and or liability that will go to that dog. He will no longer be
Part of the county.
he will no longer be county property. And
There you
He will be a personally owned animal. Yes, sir.
What is the cost of the dog, actually?
The cost of a dog, depending, I think when we bought him, we gave $11,000, and that was for training, everything. So you can, and once again, you get what you pay for.
Exactly, per year it's.
So it can be anywhere. I've seen dogs that were gifted to. We priced one earlier today, training and all, $18,000.
Are we gonna get another one?
We have another one currently, but I would like to have two. I would like to have one for each rotation. So hopefully, but if we do, our drug fund is in really good shape for
Right.
that. So
Right.
it will be paid for by the drug dealers of Overton County.
Right.
Any other questions? All in, got a motion by Jeff Long, a second by Jesse Long. Clerk, will you call the roll?
Cindy Robbins,
Yes.
Shane Walker,
Yes.
Greg Nivens,
Yes.
Philip Talley,
Yes.
Geraldine Walker,
Yes.
Roger Carr,
Yes.
Jason Bowman,
Yes.
Gil McCowen,
Yes.
Randall Boswell,
Yes.
Lee Richards,
Yes.
Patrick McCurdy,
Yes.
Darwin Clark,
Yes.
Bobby Melton,
Yes.
Jeff Long,
Yes.
Donna Savage.
Yes.
All four motion carries. Number 11, consider approval for airport operations agreement between the county and the city, from beginning May 1 through April 30, 2035. Jason, do you want to say anything before we get into anything?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna pass it, but I think he's here, I want him to talk to hand this out. Thought that'd be the thing to do.
I'll answer your question and kind of give you some info on what this is. So, I've been involved in the airport about 20 years. I chair the airport board. It's an unpaid, full-time job, pretty much. And so, in the past, the county has reimbursed the city who owns the airport for grant monies. We get pretty much 95% state and federal money, and we get 5% that comes from local match, which is city and county. And we get 2.5% from each. And then the operating expenses of the airport have been reimbursed by the county over the past 20 years. But there were several years recently where the city didn't bill the county, which, yeah, I know it saves you money. So two of the last 3 years, the city did not bill the county during COVID for the operating of the airport. So I gave you a copy of the city's general fund. You have revenues, you have expenditures in the back. And so the request is for 50% of the operating expenses of the airport. Now, the agreement goes into more detail, but I want to state that the airport has 3 sources of revenue. You have hangar rent, you have aviation fuel sales, and you have minor sales of like oil and airplane necessities. So on the expenditure side, what it would be is it would be half of the expenditures less aviation fuel. And the reason is that the city's going to continue to pay the 2 employees that work there all their benefits. This agreement does not obligate the county to pay the employees that work at the airport. All this is for half of the operating expenses of the airport. If you take the expenditure side of the town's budget, you'll see that in 2020 and 21, it was $173,000. 21-22 was $178,000. And 2022-23 proposed, it's $108,000. That is the bottom total less the aviation fuel, because the city buys the aviation fuel and sells that. There's about a 20% profit, and part of that money is used to pay the employees that work there. So on average, you're looking at about $90,000 to pay for half of all the operational costs at the airport. That includes things like engineering fees, electricity, the vehicle payment on the van is a courtesy car, all the basic operating expenses. And then we have about $20,000 to $25,000 local match for the city and the county on all the projects. Projects are like, for example, we're doing the fencing project, we're going to replace the fence. You know, there's old woven wire fence, real low fence. And then we got the fuel farm relocation, and then we have a proposed taxiway extension. Another example that would be is in the bipartisan infrastructure law. I was able to get us $159,000 a year for 5 years, which we can use that money to rehab the hangar, which is the terminal in the hangar. If you go to Jamestown, you'll see they have the same hangar as us, which has had a lot of money spent to make it nicer. Our hangar and terminal still has plexiglass windows and needs a lot of work. We can get this money from the government. It'll pay for 95% to rehabilitate our hangar. If you're a business and you land at Livingston, you're going to look at what you got for facilities. So we're going to be able to take 95% to rehab the hangar. So I gave you the budget, and then I gave, I'll print out a few copies. There's a state study, economic study, and the group that went and did that determined that our airport brings in $734,000 a year to the community. And we have letters from factories stating the benefit of that. As a District 5 resident of Overton County, I got my license there 30 years ago to learn to fly, and I really advocate with youth and other folks to become pilots. Our little city has turned out a lot of professional pilots. I'm sure all of you know a lot of them, including me, that were trained at this airport. So the airport provides a lot to the county and the city. And we've got some things like, for example, that a Department of Commerce says that we get $2.50 for every dollar we spend improvement at the airport on grant money that we can match. And then, of course, you know, our airport's a primary Del Hollow Lake airport. You go up there every weekend. Common misconception is an airport's a rich country club. I'm sorry, you're in Livingston, Overton County. It's not a rich country club. People like me are business owners that fly aircraft out of there. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, doctors flying from Nashville. State troopers fly in there, military flies in there. The governor flies there when he comes to TCAT or anything around here. Our airport too, we have the longest runway aside from Lafayette, north of Interstate 40 between Nashville and Knoxville. We have the best facility for a sized town, probably almost anywhere in Tennessee right now. So the ask is, and in the past, because we didn't have a true agreement, this is a 12-year agreement, which I estimate I'll give my services for free for at least 12 more years, I don't know why, to run this, to help. And this will be an agreement between county and city, so we know every year what to expect and not come begging. The city doesn't have to do this. The city is not broke and in need of this money and trying to push something off on you. We had no agreement. The recent audit showed we didn't have an agreement. And in my position as a county resident, I'm all about unity of the city and county. And that airport's used by more county residents than city residents. And so I like to see a partnership, kind of like the Upper Cumberland Airport is Sparta, White County, Cookeville, Putnam County. This airport should be Putnam, Overton County, and Livingston to manage it. The city's paid for the vast majority of what's there now. There's kind of an olive branch extended to you to spend about $90,000 to $100,000 a year, plus the contract match on projects, which